that I have met in my life. And he just casually walked up to me one day and started talking. And man, when I opened his book, I said, you have got to be kidding. That's God. That's God. Y'all know how it is when, you know, Elder Chris, when you've been somewhere and you don't wear where you been. Yeah, come on now. He ain't wearing where he been. He about to tell y'all where he been. Y'all give God some praise.
It is a great honor to be here. And I just want to thank God for his grace and his mercy. Thank God for my wife, Pastor Donna Moore, that God has blessed me with. I want you to know that in 1974, I was in the United States Army. I thought the way to get away from trouble where I lived in Columbus, Ohio, was to join the Army. To get away from all my friends because they were on drugs, they were going to jail, and they were getting killed. I said, I got to get away. But I didn't know that I was the problem. I didn't know that everywhere I went, I got in trouble. Because I'm thinking it was folks that I was hanging around.
Amen.
And see, Mama used to always say, Billy, them boys you running with gonna get you in trouble. She didn't tell me that I was the one getting him in trouble. So I joined the Army. I thought that was the thing to do. But everywhere I went, I got in trouble. After 3 years in Germany, I came back to the States, and they sent me here to the state of Georgia. And I met a man who told me that he knew a guy that had $30,000. And I was going to look through a little financial problem, and that we could take the money. Nobody had to get hurt. You know, it's always nobody's going to get hurt. Satan got the scheme. He wants you to think that this is going to work. But before you do something stupid, Satan always wants you to alter your mind. You know, because you, even if you are not saved, you got a conscience that can tell you, don't do this. Don't do that. So we had to smoke some pot because we had to get to another state of mind. We drank some Jack Daniels and we drank some beer and we got intoxicated so I could have a stupid mind.
That's right.
Went to this man's house to show you how stupid we was. We were in a man's house, knocking on the door, knocking on his bedroom door. What kind of criminals is that?
Come on now.
How smart was that? I'm standing there, the door opens up. I don't even see it open up because I'm so messed up. And he comes out the door with a shotgun and he hit my leg and it fires because he is afraid somebody is in his house. And it scares me, and I shoot this pistol that I got, and I end up killing Mr. Saban. I killed a man. The Army told me that, you know, we want to teach you how to kill, and it's not going to bother you, but they never told me that I had a conscience. And now I don't know what to do. I just killed this man. The very next day, I was arrested because I found out that my so-called friend, this was his uncle. He had robbed him before. So the police went and got him, and you know how your friends do. They bring the police to you.
That's right.
They arrested me. And the sheriff put his pistol to my head, and he said, I'm going to kill you right here. But because the GBI was there, he said, oh no, not in front of us. And he said, I'm going to make sure that you get a death sentence. I didn't know what that was. I didn't know what the death sentence was. He said, I'm going to see that you get it. So my sister hired this lawyer to represent me. She gave this man $9,000 to represent me because he had this great reputation that he was the best. But he didn't know that the sheriff ran the county. The sheriff told the judge to give me a death sentence. I told my lawyer, I said, listen, I cannot go to court and plead not guilty. I didn't mean to commit the murder. It's supposed to be a robbery, but when you are intoxicated and you're on drugs, you out of control. You're going to do something stupid. I said, so I got to take responsibility. So I'm going to plead guilty. He said, well, that's great, because my brother's a judge. He'll talk to this judge, and we'll get you a life sentence. I said, fine. When I went to court, The sheriff talked to the judge. When the judge came into the courtroom, he had my death sentence already typed up before the trial started. He went and filed it with the clerk. He sat down and said, let's start this trial. The prosecution's whole case was my confession. My lawyer, not $9,000 lawyer, sat there and did not say one word. When the judge said, well, Mr. Pierce, it's your turn, what you got to say? He said, there's Billy, talk to him. I get on the stand, I try to explain to the judge, the reason why I'm guilty is because I am indeed guilty. I didn't mean to commit the murder, but I am responsible for this man's death. You cannot go anywhere in your life if you do not own up to what you do.
That's right. That's right.
God will not accept you if you cannot own up to what you do.
That's right.
The first thing that you have to do is confess your sin.
Amen.
You cannot even deal with yourself when you don't own up to what you do. That was a help to me. The judge said, well, you did a good thing. You gave us the money back. You didn't cost a whole lot. Big trial. You plead guilty. However, on Friday, September the 13th, 1974, you'll be taken from the county jail to the state prison, and between the hours of 10 and 2, you'll be executed till you're dead. I thought I was going to die. Just to hear that, I thought that I was going to die. I'm like, I am in some real trouble and I need some help. He ain't it. $9,000. He was not it. For the first time in my life, I knew that I needed some help. I didn't go to church. I wasn't a church person, even though my family was. I hated going to church. Because at Catholic school, when I went to church, it was something terrible. So me and God just did not get along. But I knew I needed some help when I got that death sentence. I am on my bed and I'm like, okay, the best thing to do is just kill myself. I ain't gonna let the state kill me, I might as well do it. So I am laying there crying because the state gonna kill me, and I said, I might as well do it. And I hear God, I am in this cell by myself. Never heard God's voice in my life, and he says to me, if you are so upset about killing somebody, why are you going to kill yourself? I said, all right, if this is you, God, because I don't see nobody around here and I'm the only person in the cell, and I hear this like you hear my voice, if this is you, I promise, I ain't going to kill myself. I ain't going to never hurt another person in my life. But if the state want to kill me, I don't care. Because that's where I was. I had no hope. But then my cousin from Columbus, Ohio wrote me a letter. She said, Billy, I heard that you got a death sentence and you need to accept Jesus Christ in your life. I'm like, what? It's kind of late to be telling me that. I wrote her back, and that was what I told her. She didn't write me back. She told her pastor in Columbus, Ohio, who knew Bishop Guthrie, and he called Bishop Guthrie and he told him there is a boy in Jefferson County Jail. Just got an execution date for September the 13th, on a Friday of all days. And he doesn't know Jesus Christ. This man and his wife drove 250 miles from Rome, Georgia, down to Jefferson County. Didn't tell the sheriff they was coming, didn't tell me they was coming, just showed up. Convinced the sheriff to let them see me. The sheriff came upstairs. Now the sheriff is like 6'7", 350, and he came upstairs and he said, "Boy, there's a preacher downstairs to see you." I said, "I ain't sent for no preacher. I ain't going down there." He said, "You what?" I said, "I ain't going." He said, "Oh, you telling me what you not gonna do in my jail?" Oh, that's when you got beat up, when you told the sheriff you wasn't gonna do something. So he started unlocking the door. I said, "Okay, let's go." But what impressed me, Bishop said, "Son, I know that you killed a man. I know that you have a death sentence and the execution date coming up next Friday. But I want you to know that there's a just judge. And his name is Jesus Christ. And he will do right. He died for people like you, especially for people like you who have killed someone. Jesus died for you simply because he loves you." I had never heard that. And not only that, I could feel the Holy Spirit coming out of them. I didn't know what it was, but I knew whatever they had, I needed it.
Amen.
whatever they had. I said, so what do I need to do? He said, well, you need to repent. I said, well, what's that? He explained to me what repenting was. He said, you need to confess your sin. I said, well, what's that? He explained to me what that was. See, when we go witness, a lot of times we don't explain what people need to know.
That's right.
And he said, you need to be baptized. And the sheriff's like, you are not taking him out of this jail. Well, you know, Bishop's first wife was like 4'9". And she gets into the sheriff's face. She's like, look, this boy accepted Christ and we going to baptize him today somewhere, so find a place. Now, you know, this white sheriff ain't never had no black lady in his face talk to him like that. He like, yes, ma'am. There's a tub out on the porch. So this tub is like 4 feet long, and I'm like 6 foot tall. And the bishop said, now, get in the tub, and we just completely immerse you. I said, well, I can't do that. He said, you don't want to be baptized? I said, I do, but I can't do that. He said, why? I said, because I messed my knee up. In the army, you only bends halfway. And so he looks to his wife. He said, well, we got a problem. How are we going to baptize this boy? She said, we got no problem. This is what you do. You sit him in the tub, and you baptize the top half of him. And then you drag him through the water, and you baptize the bottom half of him.
That's all right.
Well, let me tell you, that 2-part baptism worked. So for the first time in my life, I got peace. I got peace, and they're talking about killing me. I said, this is crazy. All my life, I've been looking for this. And now I only got 5 days left.
Wow.
Friday the 13th come and I am sitting on my bed waiting for the guards to come to get me, and nobody stops by my cell, and I do not ask them why. Nobody stops, and I'm trying to figure out what's going on because my lawyer didn't say nothing to me. Friday passed, so I'm confused. I got this order that on Friday the 13th I'm supposed to be killed. So here this Saturday, I'm waiting. I know they're going to come and sneak and get me, and nobody says nothing. Sunday goes by. Imagine spending the whole weekend with the anticipation of somebody killing you. Monday, the sheriff comes upstairs and he said, here's a letter from your lawyer. I opened it up. And my lawyer says, dear Billy, I forgot to tell you that you won't be executed on Friday the 13th, but I get the letter on Monday. I'm like, what? You mean he didn't tell me and he knew this? He said, your case will be appealed to the Georgia Supreme Court. It's an automatic appeal, and I need you to tell your sister to send me $3,000 to do this. I'm like, you got to be crazy. I wrote my older sister and said, listen, fire him. Do not give him any more money. I'll represent myself.
Good God.
She said, boy, you can't do that. I said, listen, I can't mess this up. I got a death sentence. How can I mess this up? I can't make it no worse than what it is. What am I going to do? Make him kill me twice? I can't mess it up. So I'm going to do this. So I found a petition. And the first thing I got was my transcript and a police report. And I went through the police report and I saw all the names of the members of the victim's family. I'm like, God, what am I supposed to do with this? And the Lord said, you need to write them and apologize. I'm like, what? You know, we always ask God what to do. And when he tell you what to do, you don't want to do it. How do you write to a family, to a daughter, to a son, to a brother, to a sister, and tell them that you're sorry for killing their family members? And Lord, I need some help. I don't know what to do. You know, I'm just this new Christian, and this is how I talk to God, just like I'm talking to you, because I didn't know no better. I didn't have a church background. I'm like, help me. He said, just be honest. So I wrote him and said, listen, I don't know if you want to hear from me or not, but if you decide to read this, I want you to know that I'm truly sorry for all the pain and suffering that I'll cause you and every member of your family. And if you can find it in your heart to forgive me, I would appreciate it. But if you don't, I understand, because I don't forgive me either. And I mailed 30 letters out. Within a week, I started getting letters back. They said, we are Christian people. We heard that you gave your life to Christ in the county jail. And we forgive you. I'm like, what? Are you kidding me? Now, I asked them to do it, and they did it. And I'm like, are you kidding me? So I got to find out. So I wrote them back. So listen, please explain to me, how could you do that? because I couldn't do it. And so they wrote me back. So listen, you don't know what forgiveness is. You think forgiveness is saying that what you did was okay. Forgiveness is freeing us from being in bondage to you. Forgiveness is allowing us to live because of what you have done. Now, if we're going to hold the bitterness and the resentment and the anger, we might as well be in the cell next to you. Listen, but we are not going to be in bondage. We are going to be free, and a byproduct, you benefit from the forgiveness. So I wrote him back and said, thank you, I appreciate that, because I didn't know that. And that started a correspondence. I mean, these are real Christian folks. We wrote letters every week for 16 and a half years. Think about that. Somebody killed someone in your family. Could you talk to them? Could you forgive them? And not only forgive them, but help them. They helped me get to the point where I could finally forgive myself. Because I wasn't doing it. They said, how is God going to be able to use you? Because we know he's going to use you. You can't even forgive yourself. You block in your blessings. You have to forgive. I said, I can't do it. They said, listen, forgiveness is not about emotions. Forgiveness is about choice. Jesus said, if you forgive, that's choice. It has nothing to do with what you feel. You have to choose to do it. And not allow it to keep you in bondage. And so they helped me. And my case went on and on. I finally got some lawyers to help me, but I pled guilty. So all the courts was like, guilty, 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 guilty. Nobody was helping me. And I went through like 13 execution dates. And now I get this new execution date for May 24th, 1984. Georgia killed 13 people. I'm going to be number 14. Execution date for the 24th of May. So on the 21st, guards came and got me. Took me to the captain's office. You know, we always say, I'm ready to go be with Jesus. Yeah, now when they start telling you when you going, how you going, you think about that. Because the guards took me to the captain's office. He said, okay, here's your execution warrant. Read this and sign it. I want you to know that we're killing you on the 24th. You got that? You got to sign it. Okay, now, after we kill you, what you want us to do with your body? We can bury you here, or your family come get you. You got to sign that. Whatever little money you had on your prison account, we can give it to your guards, or we can give it to your friends. You got to sign off on that. Then they take all your clothes and put you in this white jumpsuit that you're going to be executed in. They give you the shoes, the boots that you're going to be executed in. And so the two officers put the chain around my waist and on my legs, my arms crossed, and they take me from the captain's office to a death watch cell. Now, the death watch cell is actually right outside the captain's office. You can go through the back door, but they walk all the way around the prison. And we get to the viewing part, where you come into the death watch cell, it's like you come into a church. Oh, it's got pews over here and pews over there, beautiful red carpet, walk right down, and right in the middle, there's this big old podium, and an electric chair sitting on the podium, covered in a white sheet. So the guards walked me right up to this chair and snatched the cover off of it and said, what do you think about this? I'm right here. The chair is right there. And the guard said, look at that, Billy. Look at these straps. Boy, when that 2,300 volts hits you, you ain't going nowhere. So I'm transfixed on this chair because I haven't seen it before. And the crazy thing about it, I read about it. I knew exactly how they killed you. I read everything you can find out about it, which is stupid. So now all this stuff is going through my mind. Is it going to kill me? How fast is it going to kill me? Is it going to burn me up like it has done other people? They say it instantly kills you, but those people who wrote about it never been executed, so they don't know. So I'm trying to figure out what is going on. I'm like, God, you got to help me because I'm going to go crazy. I'm standing here next to this chair, and these guys are just going on and talking about how the chair looked and how they're going to strap me down. When the current hit me, I'm not going to move. They're going on, and I'm trying to get some peace. And God, I need some help. So they take me from the chair and put me in a death watch cell. Now, a death watch cell is a regular cell, but two guards sit right in front of the cell, and they watch you to make sure you don't kill yourself so the state can kill you. You can't do it. And you wait. And they watch you. And they got two books. One guy writes down every single word you say, and the guy over here writes down every word, every movement that you make. And I asked him, I said, what's this about? He said, well, this is our proof to show society that we treated you nice before we killed you. We want the people to know how we treated you, that you were treated nice. Now, God had let me know that I was getting ready to go on to death watch, so I had been fasting for 2 weeks. The captain came and said, Billy, what do you want to eat? I said, I don't want anything to eat. So I don't want to see the TV, don't want to hear the radio. If you can give me my Bible, I'll be fine. He said, well, you don't want death watch, you're not allowed to have anything, but since you've been pretty good, since you've been here, we're going to give you your Bible. So I'm in the cell, and the guards, when the captain leaves, he's like, turn your TV on. I said, I don't want the TV on. They said, well, we can't turn it on unless you turn it on. I said, well, I don't want the TV on. So the guards get mad at me because I won't let them watch TV. I'm about to die, and they get mad at me because I can't let them watch TV. And he says, okay, since you won't let us be entertained, we're going to entertain you. So they began to tell me about the 13 men that I had lived with over the last 10 years who was executed, what they did for their last 72 hours. Torture. Pure torture. Just telling me word after word, scene after scene, and all this is in my mind. And I'm like, God, you got to help me. I need some peace. I am not going to make it because my mind was just all over the place. I could not get any peace. I said, Lord, help me. And they're torturing me with the stuff that they're saying. So they go through everything until they get to the last person. And believe it or not, talking about him helped me because I had started a Bible class on death row. And this guy was in my Bible class. And I told him all we do is we read, and we talked about the scripture that we read. And he wouldn't read, so I asked him, I said, well, how come you want to read? He said, well, I can't read. So I don't understand that. How can you tell me that you can't read, and you told me when you first got here you graduated from high school? I said, I don't get that. He said, well, I'm from Columbus, Georgia, and I had a little problem in school, so they just passed me on through. So I have graduated from high school, but I can't read at all. I said, all right, I'll fix that. I can help you. At least I thought I could. I found out he had a real mental problem. So it was a real struggle, but I found out that he had one special gift, and I have yet to see this today. Only black guy I knew that liked hard rock music. And he had this imaginary guitar. And so he can hear a song one time and he got all the words, every single word to it, and he could sing it. So when I found that out, I was to make his lessons in the songs, and we had a little rock out, with his lessons. After a couple of years, he could read. So he come to me one day and he said, listen, I got this letter from the courts and I don't know what it is. I read the letter, and the letter was saying that he was going to be executed. I asked him, did he have a lawyer? And he said he didn't know. So I went to his cell and went through his belongings and found out who his lawyer was and wrote him and said, your client's going to be killed. What are you going to do? He said, I filed an appeal to the state saying that my client is mentally retarded in the state, you cannot execute him. And so the state of Georgia said, okay, we will not, even though there's no law saying that we can't, but we're going to test him and see if he is. And so Jerome came to me and he said, oh, look, man, I'm going to take this test. I'm like, what? He said, I'm going to take this test. I said, listen, this is not a test you want to pass. You pass this test, the state will kill you. He said, no, I'm going to pass this test. I said, Jerome, listen, let me, maybe I need to say it some other way, but if you pass, you die. So since I know what you know, since I taught you, let me teach you how to flunk this test. And so he says to me, he said, wait a minute. When I accept Christ and came into this Bible study group, didn't you tell me that there is no reason, that there is no person, that there is no issue why I should lie about anything? I said, I did. He said, but you're telling me to lie now, right? I said, yeah, I am. I'm telling you to lie right now, flunk this test, and then we're going to ask God to forgive you. And he said, no, we don't do that. We are not doing that. I said, but Jerome, I will make you some tests. You can try to pass those, flunk this one. He took the test. He scored 71. 70 is the cutoff score, and 3 days later they killed him. But the guards was reading to me what he was saying. Here is a man that's on death watch and he's about to die, and his integrity is that he would not lie to save his life. And he knew that he could. He would not do it. How many times do we lie for nothing? And here is a man who could have saved his life. He was so happy that he learned how to read and write. He was so happy that in learning how to read and write, he accepted Christ in his life, and that made a difference. That really helped me. I mean, I was upset that they were torturing me, and here, I hear a friend who's going through this same death process. And his view about it was totally different. That he was at peace because Christ was in his life. So the guards stopped harassing me. They came and said, you got to visit. And I went to the visit room, and my sisters were trying to talk to me, and my mind was somewhere else. And then they brought me back to my cell. And I got some letters on my bed, and the captain told me that I don't get mail, but there was letters on my bed. So I look at the letter, and I see this return address from my first wife. It's from her mother. And we had a good relationship, so I opened the letter up, and it's from my wife, who I haven't heard from in 11 years. And she says, dear Billy, I know you're going to be executed the next couple of days, and I need to clear my conscience. I want you to know that Billy Jr., who you think is your son, that he is not your son. I'm like, just kill me. Just kill me. What else can I take? That state's trying to kill me, and all of a sudden, I haven't heard from her in 11 years, and now you're raping me? What is this about? So I'm like, okay, God, if I could get her in this cell, you know what? I'll just choke the life out of her. And God's like, what did you say? I said, forgive me. What do I need to do to get some peace? He said, well, you got to write her an apology. I said, what? I got to write her? She the one who wrote me. She started all this mess. Why do I got to write her? And God said, well, wait a minute. What did the victim's family do to you? I said, all right, I got to write her. So I write this long old letter, explaining to her how I wanted to kill her. I wanted her to know that part at least. Why I was writing the letter. But then in the end, I apologized. Now, I don't know if the letter went out or not, but I gave it to the guards, and then I sat on the bed and said, Lord, I need some help. I need some help because everything is failing. The court is saying he pled guilty, he is guilty, he ought to be dead. The Atlanta newspaper said the reason why the crime in Atlanta is increasing is because we haven't killed William Moore yet. I said, okay, help me, Jesus. And then God gave me Psalms 118, verse 17. It says, I shall not die but live and declare the works of the Lord. And I heard that. I'm sitting on that bed and I heard that. I said, okay, let me find it. I said, well, now what do I do with this? I said, how do I get it off the pages of the Bible into my head? How do I get it out of my head into my heart? You got to help me, Lord. I mean, it ain't doing me no good on the pages of the Bible. I got to get it inside. You said, I shall not die but live and declare the works of the Lord. So God said, faith comes by hearing, and hearing by the word of God. Amen. I said, okay, I got to hear it. So the only way I hear is I got to see it. So I'm walking back and forth in the cell saying, Jesus said, I shall not die but live and declare the works of the Lord. So they're writing down, the guards are writing. Oh, he's going crazy. He's walking back and forth. And he said, what are you saying? I said, let me tell you. So you get it clearly. Jesus said, I shall not die but live and declare the works of the Lord. So he writes that down, and he said he's walking back and forth. The captain comes in there and said, what's wrong? He said, Billy done lost his mind. I said, yeah, I have lost my mind. I lost my mind and finally got the mind of Christ, so I am good. So that's all I'm doing. There was I had no peace. And as long as I was going and saying, Jesus said, I shall not die but live and declare the works of the Lord. So I'm just walking back and forth this little cell, and so I'm saying to myself, it's increasing faith. As soon as I stop and do something else, here comes the confusion. So I'm back at it. So I am back and forth. So they come get me. My sister said, listen, let me tell y'all something. Before y'all say anything, I want you to know, Jesus said, I shall not die but live and declare the works of the Lord. Now, y'all can say whatever y'all want to say. Y'all can talk about whatever y'all want to talk about. But I want you to know, my answer is, Jesus said, I shall not die but live and declare the works of the Lord. So they just talking, and they're asking me questions. So whenever they're asking me a question, I say, yeah, Jesus said, I shall not die but live and declare the works of the Lord. So they take me back to the cell. The cook comes up. He said, well, what do you want to eat? I said, Jesus said, I shall not die but live and declare the works of the Lord. This boy has lost his mind. I said, you're right. Because Jesus said, I shall not die but live and declare the works of the Lord. Because you got to get that word off of the pages of the Bible into your heart. You got to get it into your heart. You have to believe it. Faith comes by hearing. So I'm believing it. I'm believing it. My lawyer sends an assistant down, and they said, nobody wants to hear this case. I said, that's fine, because Jesus said, I shall not die but live and declare the works of the Lord. My lawyer called. He said, I sent somebody down there to talk to you, and they said, did you say something? I said, yeah, I'm going to tell you what I told them. I told them that Jesus said, I shall not die but live and declare the works of the Lord. He said, I can't take that to court. I said, I don't care. I don't care, because Jesus said, I shall not die but live and declare the works of the Lord. My case is at the 11th Circuit Court of Appeals in Atlanta. They had heard my case 3 times already. I pled guilty. I had no new issues. It's getting down to 7 hours prior to my execution. And I just got word that the court said, we do not want to hear this case. So the guard is taking me back to my cell. They said, you know what? We're going to take you back to death row so you can see old death row before we kill you. I said, Jesus said, I shall not die but live and declare the works of the Lord. I don't care what y'all do. So by the time we get to death row, the captain comes out of the office and said, I just got a phone call from the 11th Circuit Court of Appeals. They have stopped this execution. So the guard said, okay, here, take all your clothes back, took me back in the captain's office, said, here's your old clothes. We put you back on death row and we just get you another time. I said, that's fine, because Jesus said, I shall not die but live and declare the works of the Lord. Now, I am on my post. I am saying what the Lord told me to say. But you know what we do? We get lax. After a couple months, when there wasn't no threat, I stopped saying it. Because I'm safe. I'm in my little cell. I stopped saying what Jesus told me to say. Gave Satan entrance to start working again. Now, I just got word from one of my friends who clerked at the court, and they was asked him, why did the 11th Circuit stop the execution? You know what they said? They said they were confused. How in the world are you going to be confused when I plead guilty? How in the world are you going to be confused when you already ruled against me 3 times and saying I was guilty? And now you're confused? But when God is working on your behalf,
Come on now.
He will cause people who want to kill you to do stuff for you. They stopped the execution, and for 6 years trying to figure out why they stopped it. This is what they was trying to figure out. What did we stop this for? This man is guilty. At the end of 6 years, I get a new execution date because I stopped saying Jesus said I should not die but live and declare the works of the Lord. I'm cruising when I should have been on my post. I get this new execution date. I'm like, okay, God, what happened? You the one that said I shouldn't die, but now they're talking about killing me again. And God said, well, you stop saying it. You the one let them back in. I said, okay, Lord, I am back on my post. I'm saying Jesus said I should not die but live and declare the works of the Lord. And I said, nobody wanted to stop this execution. This time, execution date for August the 22nd, 1990. On the 21st, they come to get me, and the sister warden comes. He said, listen, you know, the United States Supreme Court just stopped this execution for 30 days. I said, all right, because Jesus said I should not die but live and declare the works of the Lord. I told you he'd do it. So I go in the visiting room, and then he said, listen, you got to call your lawyer. I called my lawyer. I said, well, what did y'all file? He said, we didn't file anything.
Wow.
I said, I don't know why they stopped it.
Glory.
I said, well, they stopped it because
Wow.
Jesus said, I should not die but
Amen.
live and declare the works of the Lord. So he tells me, he said, listen. The parole board of Georgia will not look at this case because the Supreme Court got it. So we got 30 days. I said, fine. Because Jesus said, I should not die but live, so I don't care. You know, I'm where I'm supposed to be. I'm at peace. I'm saying what Jesus said I should say, and fine. 30 days, I don't care. What I didn't know is the parole board decided to hear my case. I'm in the visiting room, I don't know. They called the members of the victim's family. Now, you talk about forgiveness.
Come on now.
This
Come on.
is the depth of forgiveness. This family comes to the parole board, and the family stands up and says, listen, we have been writing Billy for the last 16 and a half years. He is our brother. You cannot kill him. That's forgiveness. That is real forgiveness. When Jesus died on the cross, he said, Father, forgive them. And then when we accept him, he pulls us into his family. This family who had all rights to say, kill him, said, we don't want you to kill him because he is our brother.
Glory.
It wasn't like 2, it was like 25 or 30 people there. They all came. They got my family to go. Everybody was there but me. I ain't on in the battle. I'm in the visiting room. So that day, the parole board commuted my sentence from a death sentence to a life sentence. You can't tell me God that changed. Never in the history of this state where a person is guilty, they pled guilty, the parole board commuted the sentence from death to life. And you know what? Nobody called me. Nobody told me. You think if anybody should know about it, I should be the one, right? And somebody should have called me, but they couldn't because I'm in the visiting room and they couldn't call me. So I'm in my cell. The 6 o'clock news is on and I'm watching. And Don Farmer says, and today the parole board commuted the sentence of William Neal Moore. I'm like, what? And he goes on to say, the parole board said that he has to serve another 25 years before we can think about considering him for parole. I'm like, okay, hey, I'm alive.
Amen.
I can do 25. I just did 16 and a half. What's 25? I'm a young guy. I can handle that. But when God got something for you,
Come on.
it's not what the people say. It's what God says. I was taken off death row. I was sent down to Reedsville. And while I'm at Reedsville, guess what? The parole board decided that I should get out of prison. Not 25 years later. How about 13 months later? There is no way that a person who is guilty, who pled guilty, and who was on death row, came close to execution, should be out of prison.
Amen.
Not just off death row, out of prison.
Come on now.
Yeah. Wow.
And the same person that told me about Jesus Christ. You know, when we witness to people, a lot of times we witness to them and we leave them. We don't follow up. The same person who was come to visit me, Bishop Guthrie, came and got me. Brought me up here to Rome. You need follow-up. You need help. When you witness to someone, when you bring them into this body, they need someone to help and guide them. Brought me here. Because God had laid it upon his heart. He had been going all around the country telling people, there's a young man in jail that I know God gonna get him out. So now I'm out. And God has got me being his driver. Now I'm driving him all over the country. He said, we got to go to this convention in Chicago. I said, listen, you know what? I really don't want to be around a whole bunch of people. You're talking like 10, 15,000 people more. That's too much. And Mother Gus's like, boy, you going. So I had no choice. And she said that was it. I was going. So I'm there in this convention, and they know everybody, and I don't know nobody. And so I'm down going to this restaurant, and You know, I just got out of jail. I don't know. You got to sign up there, be seated, or sign up there, wait till somebody seats you. I don't know. So I'm standing there, nobody seats me. So I go sit down, nobody wait on me. So now I'm mad. I go upstairs, and she said, oh, no, get out of here. I know you're upset about something. I can see it on your face, so just leave. So I go back downstairs, and what it was, the shift was changing. I didn't know. They sit me down, and now I got this ice cream and cake, and I'm sitting there trying to figure out why I'm sitting here. And she walks in with her daughter and another member, and I'm saying, I think I know that lady. I said, yeah, maybe I ought to say something to her. Maybe, you know. I'm trying to convince myself that I know her from somewhere. I've seen her somewhere. I'm driving Bishop all over the country. I know. Maybe I saw her in this state. Maybe in that state. I don't know. And so I'm there talking to myself so long, they didn't got what they got, ate it, and they get ready to leave. And I'm still sitting there talking to myself and say, oh, don't say that to her. She come by, don't say that to her. Don't do it. Next thing I know, they're getting close, and it's like something pulled me out of that seat. And I said, don't I know you? She said, no, you don't know me. I said, okay, I'm going to sit down. She said, wait a minute, I heard that they let you tell part of your testimony last night, and I'd like to hear it. I'm like, sure, sit down. So I'm telling her all about it, right? And God is setting you up. I didn't know he was setting me up because, just think about it. Here I meet this lady who's pastoring in Saginaw, Michigan, who is originally from Indianapolis, Indiana, whose father, Bishop Guthrie, and her father's best friends. They worked at the post office together. Her father moved Bishop Guthrie down here in 1957. And here I am talking to her. And so I see her the other day, and Bishop said, well, who are you talking to? I said, I was talking to her. He said, well, how do you know that girl? I said, I just met her. So they didn't tell me that they knew each other. So the trick is on me, right? Everybody know each other but me. And I'm like, man, I'm going to leave that lady alone. So I'm leaving from here, going to speak in Boston, but I drive from Rome, Georgia, all the way up to Saginaw, Michigan. That's 750 miles out of the way to see her.
Wow.
Then I drive 750 miles through New York into Boston to speak. And then 750 miles back to Saginaw, Michigan to see her again. And then 750 miles back down to Georgia. I said, well, you know what? Something's got to be this. I'm driving 3,000 miles every time I'm leaving the house, no matter where I'm supposed to go. It always goes to Saginaw to see her. But God blessed me with my wife. We got married in 1993. And so I'm on parole. And I'm getting everybody I know, writing letters to the parole board and telling them to let me off. Everybody's saying they're writing letters. I'm speaking all over the country. And it's come back, no. My parole officer told me, he said, listen, the chairman told me that if I ask to get you off parole again, they're going to fire me. So don't ask me to do that no more. I said, okay. I asked other people. And so I ain't trusting God. I'm just asking folks to do it. And so my wife says, listen, how'd you get out of jail? I said, well, God did. She said, well, why are you asking all these people to do what God's going to do? I said, well, you know what? I don't know why I didn't think of that. She said, now God's going to do this. I said, all right, Lord. From this day forward, I am not going to ask another person. I am done. I'm through. 2 weeks later, I get on parole. And the same chairman of the parole board who told me in an interview, he said if he was on the parole board when they commuted my case, he'd make sure I got killed. And he said as long as he was the chairman, he was going to never let me off. But when God wants you to be free, he will move people out of the way. The same chairman who kept saying he wasn't going to let me off, you know what happened to him? He went to jail. When you messing with God's people, when you ain't in their way, when you're trying to stop their progress, he will move you out of the way. Oh yeah. He said, as long as I'm the chairman, it's all right, now you in jail.
Wow.
And then God got me on parole. Brought me into Rome. And it's not an accident. Nothing that God does is coincident or accident. It's by plan. Just being here today is not an accident. Talking to you today about what God can do is not an accident. And what I'm telling you is this. All the miracles that we see and read about in the Bible doesn't end with Revelations. Doesn't end with the book of Acts. God is still in the miracle working business.
Amen. Amen.
I am a miracle.
Amen.
There's absolutely no way,
That's right.
no way I should be alive. There's absolutely no way that I should be out of prison. There's guys still on death row that I was on death row with that's been there over 40 years. And there are people there that I know that are innocent and they're not out. There's people there that are still guilty and they're not out. Why did God select me? Because when you commit your life to Him, when you give your life to Him without reservations, it ain't nothing that He can't do. There's not anybody who can do. And I just want to thank you for allowing me to come to share with you, to let you know that the Jesus that we serve is a miracle working God. That He changes people's minds. That He changes laws. He changes customs and times for His people. I'm a witness to that. The law that was saying that I would have to do 25 years was changed. I got out of prison and it was changed right back 3 months later. You cannot tell it ain't nothing He can't do. And if He did it for me, He can do it for you.
Amen.
If He did it for me, and He did, I'm a living witness of that. He will do it for you. But you have to give your life to Christ without strings attached to it. You know, we're good at doing that. Lord, I'll give you my life, but. Lord, I'll give you this part of my life, but. Ain't no buts to it. It's got to be all or nothing.
That's right.
You got to be all in. If you want God to work in your life, you have to give Him all of it. You have to step back
Thank you, Jesus.
and say, Lord, I surrender. I surrender it all to you. And mean that. It's a lot of stuff that we go through. Jesus is the answer. He is the answer to our problems. But if you don't put your life into His hands, He's not going to do it. Believe me, I tried. I tried. I was doing everything I could, filing lawsuits and petitions, trying to save my life. And God told me, that ain't going to happen. As long as you file these petitions, nothing's going to happen. When you surrender, when you stop trying to save your life, I can do it.
Yes.
I can do it. But I'm not going to do it with you meddling with it.
Good.
You be good and meddling. Oh, Lord, help me. I want to lay this up on the altar. And you get up and you take it with you. And you keep going and you keep trying to fix it. God don't have it. When you lay it on the altar, you have to leave it there. And trust Him to fix it. But as soon as you get up and you thinking about how you going to fix it, God doesn't have it. You still got it. And He's not going to fix it because you still got it. He's going to get all the glory because He does marvelous and wonderful things that we can even begin to wrap our minds around. Just think about it. Guilty person pled guilty on death row for a crime that I did do, sentenced to death, sentenced pardon. And the courts were saying that we are confused while we stopped and we didn't execute him. They're confused. But the parole board, because of the victim's family, said we don't want him to die. That hadn't happened. You will not find it nowhere in the United States. You will not find that case nowhere in the United States. And God has sent me here to talk to you, to let you know that there is nothing He cannot do in your life. So, you want me to do an altar call? Or are you going to do it?
Woo. You do it.
Those who have not accepted Jesus Christ in their life, those who don't know Jesus in the forgiveness of your sins. God is calling today. He said, if you hear my voice, you have heard his voice today. You have heard his voice, and he's asking you to come. He's asking you to come and give your life to him. If your life is out of control, when you need help, he's asking you to come. Jesus is here. He is the answer. If he can save me, a person who is guilty, what can he do for you? God is asking. And just think about it. You won't get this call all the time.
Come on.
We just had a funeral in our church last week of a young lady that's 46 years old. She didn't expect to die, but she did. Don't think because you were young or a teenager that you got a long life. One thing being on death row taught me is this. All we have is right now.
Good God.
It's all we got. You don't have the next 5 minutes. You don't have tomorrow. You like to think you do, but all you have is now. Now is the time to give your life to Christ. Is there anyone? Is there anyone who wants Jesus in their life? Is there anyone who said, Lord, I need your help? But think about it. If we look at it from a spiritual perspective, I was physically on death row. But actually, everybody who has not accepted Jesus Christ is on death row. They have a death sentence. And you can get a pardon, not from the state of Georgia, but from Jesus himself.
Amen.
You need to be pardoned. And if you cannot give your life to Christ, there's terrible consequences. Being on death row, they want to kill me. Physically killing me is not the end. The end is being lost. So if you have not accepted Christ in your life, please come up front. Please come up front where we can pray for you. Where we can lay hands on you. We can put oil on you and pray that God will cause the hardness in your heart to be broken up. That you can give your life to Christ. Is there one? Is there one? Is there one? Do not be afraid to come up.
That's right.
Don't let people around you hold you back. Because you have to give account of God for yourself, not for who you're standing next to. Is there one?